Welcome to Manifestation Mastery.
You understand the 7 universal laws, you can now move on to the planes of existence. Each plane is a product of the plane above, and in the occult, the physical plane, the one that you see with your eyes, is the most gross and the most dense. It is the furthest away from the truth, because you do not see the underlying planes of existence which create this reality. You must understand everything that is visible comes from the invisible. For example, your mind. Your mind is a spiritual aspect. It is a non-physical thing. Therefore, it affects the physical plane and manifests things on the physical material plane. The higher you go up from the physical plane, the more fluid and lucid and dreamy it becomes. The world we see is the effect, the cause of the higher planes. Starting with the physical, this is where the 5 elements are held, and everything materializes into physical matter here. After the physical plane, the most dense plane, is the etheric plane. Every object, everything alive has an etheric double. It's like the energy body of everything you see. For example, your body has an etheric double. It is a part of your electromagnetic field, which is called your aura. Your etheric double has an energy body of every organ and every limb on your body. In the case of people losing limbs, for example their arm, they say they can still feel their arm there and they can still move it in their mind. This is because the etheric double is still there in the ether. And the mind being the highest plane, the mind can still feel this etheric double. But the physical matter is actually disappeared. The ether is pure energy and potential. All energy, all things move through the ether. It is the plane that connects the physical plane to the astral plane. In etymology, this is where we get the word either. Either is connecting 2 scenarios within language. For example, I either support Manchester United or Man City. The ether is doing the exact same thing, and this is where we get the word either, because the ether is connecting the physical plane to the astral plane. Now for the astral plane. This is the plane where you go when you have a dream, or for people who can astral project. This is the plane where disembodied spirits or consciousness are held. It is contained of a light which we cannot pick up with the physical eyes, as humans can only see something like 0.6% of the light spectrum. There are 3 states of the astral plane: lower, middle and higher. This is what people tend to call a spirit. This is where your spirit is held on this plane. Then above the astral plane is the mental plane, which is the root cause of all things, thoughts, and the director of energy. This is why they say mind over matter, because the mental plane is the highest out of them all except from the Godhead. This is where the term as above, so below comes from. With the mental plane, you can affect the astral, and then the astral will create an etheric double, and then the ether will manifest it onto the physical plane. Each of the planes cannot work without the plane above. Each plane is a product of the one above. It cannot work without it. Everyone has the ability to affect these planes, and everyone does at all times. The mental plane consists of all of your thoughts and imagination and things along that line with the mind. The astral plane is your emotional plane. This is where your emotions are. For example, when you are raging and really angry, you will be glowing red on the astral plane. And this will attract entities which are lower vibrational to you, attracting them into your electromagnetic human energy field. This is why it's so important to balance the emotions and use them correctly for creative purposes only, and not being overreactive to subtle things. This is because emotion is energy in motion. The mental plane consists of your higher faculties, which I mentioned on the previous lesson. Your higher faculties need to be worked on, for example your imagination, intuition, your will and perception. You need to work on these certain things and strengthen them in order to balance out the energy on the other planes. Do not get confused with these planes being separate. Everything is all interlocked. It's all interlocked into one. The way it works is that the mind makes the decision to move the spirit. The spirit will move the ether, which is energy, and the ether will move the physical matter.